That is why we love Champions League football. Smash and grab in the end by Paris Saint-Germain. It wasn't even a game of two halves. We can't even throw that footballing cliche out there. In my opinion, Paris Saint-Germain were distinctly average, if not poor, for 95% of that game. Neymar kept on trying, but nothing was coming off. They missed sitters of opportunities. Up until the last 15 minutes of the game, they created less chances, had less attempts on goal. It just looked written in the stars again, preordained that Paris Saint-Germain would fail. And then in the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game, Neymar's end product turned up. And you know what I love about this? Neymar, in my opinion, was having a stinker. Good dribbling, some good passing, some good flicks and good tricks, but there was no end product. He wasn't creating the gilt-edged chances. He wasn't finishing the sitters that were in front of him. And I've got a major problem, not with Neymar in general, with any player in a game. If everything looks good, but you don't deliver anything for your team, I think you praise those elements, but it's still a poor performance because your job is to make your team win. Interestingly, I get attacked for this. But then the same people that attack me for it prove me right by coming for me when at the end of the game, Neymar sets up the equaliser and is heavily involved in the winner. You come at me when he delivers end product, and that's all I was asking for him to do. You see, ability versus end product. Everybody prefers end product. Even when you're having a go at stat merchants, you actually can only have a go at us when they deliver end product. It was brilliant in the end by Neymar. There's no doubt about it. And I'll praise anyone who goes and delivers. Now, I always say it's not how you start a game, it's how you finish it. When you're commentating on a match, you're doing it in real time. And Neymar stepped up and delivered. I think Mbappe deserves a massive shout out. But Choupo-Moting up front, that guy is like fifth choice striker. He comes on and saves the day. Excellent. Paris Saint-Germain go through to the next round. I do feel a little bit for Atalanta. They fought so hard. They were finished in the end. Did you see the exhaustion, the tiredness? And yeah, I felt for them. Like I genuinely felt for them when they conceded them 2 goals. But that's football. When you've got players like Neymar and Mbappe, they have the ability to finish you in 2 or 3 minutes. It's a cruel, cruel game at times, as Samuel said there in the live chat. It really is. By the way, smash the like button and share button. Please download right now Flick. It's a great app for football communities. The Football Terrace is on there. Our link to join the Football Terrace is in the description below. It's completely free of charge. Get it done. Let's go through a few of these comments here. He goes, this is why we love football, because it's never over until that final whistle. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. A comment here says, Neymar had a great game even before the last 10 minutes, in my opinion. See, not for me. I thought he had an okay game. Dribbling was brilliant. I think 12, 13 completed dribbles from 15. Amazing. Wonderful skills. Some really good passes. But he created 1 chance in the game. He missed 2 or 3 sitters, and those things take away. If you go on a really good run, and then you're in a position where 99 times out of 100 you should score and you miss, that's a criticism as opposed to a praise. I'm an end product person. Did you deliver in your position today? Up until the 89th minute, 89th minute, Neymar hadn't done that. He'd done a lot of good things, but his job as an attacker is to create and score goals. And if your team is about to be knocked out by the underdogs in a game, you haven't delivered. And I can't give people high scores and high praise when they haven't delivered. It's different if a goalkeeper's pulling off worldy saves. There's a fundamental difference. That isn't a miss, that's a save. If a defender's getting in crazy blocks and you're thinking, how did this happen? That's different. For me, you have to break these things down. But in the end, Neymar did exactly what people like me, the output stat merchants, care about. He delivered for his team. Because imagine this. Imagine his dribbling was twice as good tonight. His passing was twice as good tonight. His skills were twice as good tonight. Everything was amazing. He was 10 out of 10. But he didn't produce no end product. Didn't create the goal at the end and didn't pull off the pass and set up the next goal. Paris Saint-Germain to be out. Why would you praise the performance of anybody in a team who dropped an L like that? You can't do it. especially when they're one of the people that's accountable for that. You know, it's interesting, but it says here, first Neymar goal was off. No, the goal wasn't offside. It absolutely counts. And that's the point for me. As I've said before, it's all about end products at the end of the day. You know, we rave about clutch players. Why do we call them clutch? Because they deliver end product. You know, think about every player in the world that's raved about. They have end product in their particular position. We all know Neymar's a quality player. My first tweet of the night when he missed the sitter was, awful miss, but it happens to a lot of top players. He then went and missed a couple more really good chances, and you're thinking, it's not going to be his night tonight, and he deserves criticism regardless of how good or bad he is in relation to that. But at the end of the day, delivered in the end. And when you deliver in the end and you step up, that's the difference between a team like Paris Saint-Germain and Atalanta. The Atalanta, sorry, they is the overall class of your team. It really is. Comment here from Carter says the fairy tale is over. Sorry, the fairy tale is over. That was more. Sorry, let me read that again. The fairy tale is over. This was more that a game for Atlanta. More than a game, I think you mean. So that's why I was getting confused. I didn't know if it was my brain or your writing. Winter surfaces, but everyone would have blamed others and not Neymar. You want to be the best. You get marked against the best. And I get that. And for me, I wouldn't have just blamed Neymar. Loads of people would have been accountable. The midfield were awful today, I felt, for Paris Saint-Germain. I really did. No one really dropped a decent performance. I thought defensively, they got opened up far too easy. The fullbacks were being caught out of position. Lots of players did. The only reason I ended up going down a rabbit hole on social media about Neymar is because I said one thing and people got triggered. And I think for me, the only thing that stopped people being triggered was him scoring goals. And my point of view is this. If he was having a good game anyway, it doesn't matter if he scores or creates goals at the end, does it? Because you don't care whether they win or lose or they produce goals. All you care about is that they dribble well and look good and do nice things. So which is it? Are you celebrating when they score an assist, or are you celebrating when they don't? Or is it like me? You want both of those things. And if you want both of those things, then you can't argue with anything that I said. It proves that I was right. But remember, logic is what it is. Eduardo Jr. here says, these are matches where some fans would have left the stadium. True, you may have seen that. But I felt like it was coming towards the end. And as soon as Paris Saint-Germain scored, I tweeted and said, that's it, they're done now. I thought it would be extra time. They got dumped out. Paris Saint-Germain move on. Likely, will it be Man City in the semi-final? If they get them, it's going to be interesting. It really will be interesting. Let's do a few more of these comments here. Atalanta made good tactical changes. They saw Paris Saint-Germain bring on Mbappe, held out very professionally. They did, and of course Mbappe was the game changer. Everything about Paris Saint-Germain improved when he came on. It made things easier for Neymar because he had a better player making runs. You know, like it's a lot easier for a creative player when you've got good attackers that you're passing to. You know, but listen, everybody deserves praise. Neymar delivered in the end, which I think is fine. Which is more than fine, it's great, and he needed to because he really let his team down earlier on in the game. It's a bit like, you know, if your centre-back drops a clanger early on and your team concedes, you then want that player to succeed. You want that guy to go end up being, like, having a great game after that and maybe making a couple of last-ditch tackles and defending like a boss man. And it's interesting as well, they're showing Neymar's stats here. He did create 4 chances in the end. But 3 of them came after the 86th minute. And that's the difference between a Neymar and the types of players that Atalanta have in their team. He is that good. And as long as he keeps trying, and the one thing you'll never hear me question about Neymar is his mentality and his tenacity and his perseverance, because he kept going. He didn't allow his poor performance up until that point to stop him and deter him from trying. Because you know why? Because he isn't an ability merchant. He's an end product merchant. He wants to deliver for his team. And that's why, have you noticed how Paris Saint-Germain only celebrated when they scored goals? And they didn't celebrate good dribbles or good tackles or good bits of skill. Oh, I love this game. PSG City final. Oh, is that the way it would be? Okay, cool. I weren't too sure of the draw, to be fair. I haven't looked at it enough. Dazza Football Stand here says, in my opinion, Atalanta deserve to go through. No. They only scored 1 goal and Paris Saint-Germain scored 2. I won't yield from my principles on that. They had the least amount of outputs in the end. It doesn't matter that for 89 minutes, they delivered more. They couldn't sustain that for the full game, and it's unfortunate for me in terms of that. It's unfortunate because I'd have liked to have seen the fairy tale story, but to say they deserved it, I don't think so. Terry, stupid point. No teams celebrate dribbles and skills except for maybe the Brazilian league. Well, it's not a stupid point. It's called satire. It's a joke, bruv. My point is, I saw people tonight on socials celebrating Neymar's performance because he had a good dribble or he made a good pass or he did a really good skill. And I'm like, that's nice. I ain't going to celebrate his performance until he delivers. And then when he delivered, we'll say it's great. You don't do that. Think about it. It's a weird notion. It's okay to go, okay, then things are coming. This is what Neymar fanboys should have been saying. He's doing so many things right. We just need that end product from him. I said the same thing about Martial last night. Great runs, great movement, great play. Lacked a clinical edge. Rashford last night lacked a clinical edge. I do the same thing about my players as I said tonight. I love all the stuff that leads to a goal or leads to the opportunity to create one. But if you mess up at the final hurdle, yesterday, Bruno Fernandes went on a really good run through the middle, turned a guy inside out. He had a simple pass to play in, I want to say it was Greenwood. He messed the pass up. I criticised that. I didn't say, yeah, but what a great run and vision to even attempt it. No, because he messed up the easiest part of it. I'm fair and I treat every single football player the same. If that means I don't know football, you're crazy. And how I know you're crazy is because the manager shout at the players for missing those chances. The team moan at the players for missing those chances. These are the professionals. Don't get suckered in by the ability merchants who are generally failures in life and they know they can't, they don't have the mentality to deliver. They never achieve what they want to achieve in life. But I've got the ability, and that's why they push on the ability stuff so much. It's not a smash and grab, Terry. Come on, they dominated the second half. They didn't. See, up until the last 5 minutes of that game, they had less shots in the whole match. They had less chances created in the whole match. They were not playing well. They come on right at the end. It was a smash and grab result, but they deserved it. There's a difference. Warp says, hey, how you doing, Terry? It's been a long time. No, I'm doing good, my brother. Good, my brother. No Limits here says it's Terry versus the world. It isn't. Most people agree with me when it comes to this. Because what do you celebrate more, dribbles or goals? What do you want more from your player? What would you rather a player did for you? 10 completed dribbles a game, 25 wicked stepovers but no goals, or 3 completed dribbles in a game, a few good bits of skill but scored a hat-trick? You're picking the hat-trick, bro. You're picking the hat-trick. Especially from your front men. I'm talking attackers here, right, as an example. It's crazy. When did Paris Saint-Germain celebrate when they scored? I'm right. I'm absolutely right. A dribble and a goal would be nice. But imagine, there was a dribble near the end, right, where Neymar took on 3 people, but then his last touch run the ball out for a corner. I'm not going to celebrate the bit before that when the end of it goes wrong. But in the end, he delivered, and that's what matters. And if you ever call somebody out for having a bad performance because they're not delivering end product as an attacker, and all their fanboys come for you, and then he scores, and then they come back for you, they've proven you right. But they're just too stupid and dense to understand that. It's as simple as that. We had a comment here. We've got Jem says, Paris Saint-Germain do not play like a team. End of. They're a bunch of individuals. Stefan says, Neymar can finish. He just had an off game with his finishing. Relax. I know he can finish, but we were assessing tonight's game. And because he had an off night with his finishing, until the end where he helped produce the equaliser and winner, I felt he was having a poor game. That's it. I'm not writing him off as a player. Why? People are taking this out of, and that's the thing that people have when it comes to criticism. They take it out of proportion. I love it. I love this game. Outputs matter, most obviously, but players can have good games without scoring if their end product wasn't good. Yeah, contextually. If Neymar's 2 or 3 misses were good saves, yes. But when he misses absolute staunch sitters, you can't have a good game when you've done that, regardless of the other thing, as an attacker when you've done that. I just don't believe that you can. I just don't think those... I think you can have an okay game. It's average. But your job is to score the goals for your team. It's why you're the most valuable. It's why you're generally the most well paid at your club. And that's all I was talking about. End product. It's important. Very, very important. Pre-assists, assists, goals. They're the three main objectives of attacking players. King Cantona says, facts, Terry frontmen are judged on goals and assists absolutely as a main output. And of course, in the end, the overall performance of Neymar is very, very good. But as I said, when you're doing assessments in the game live, you're talking as you see it there and then. You know, Steve McManaman was talking about, you know, Paris Saint-Germain bottling things, and then 2 minutes later they're winning. He didn't see it coming. Nobody really did. It's why everybody's celebrating so much and then so in awe of it. But this is just the way it is. It's as simple as that. Someone here says Salah has to take 10 shots a game to score a goal. Maybe, but is he missing gilt-edged sitters? Again, what you're doing is you're taking a shot or that may just go wide or may be really well saved as the same as missing absolute sitters. What you're doing is you're trivializing the difference between missing a sitter, missing an open goal, missing a gilt-edged opportunity with having 3 or 4 shots from acute angles, nearly scoring. They're not the same thing. They're not the same thing. A few people saying they were lucky. I don't think Paris Saint-Germain were lucky tonight, really. And the reason I wouldn't say that, another reason why I wouldn't say they were lucky is because if Neymar takes his chances, as I believe he should have done because they were gilt-edged, they weren't just half opportunities or whatnot, they would have been a couple of goals up anyway. So for the balance of the overall game, they could have been winning. They could have been winning going into that last 10 minutes as easily as they could have been losing. So to come out as winners, I don't see it as lucky in my opinion. Let's do one more comment here. Paris Saint-Germain will bottle it eventually. There we go. Listen, everyone who tuned in, thank you very, very much as always. You know how much we appreciate it here. Take care, goodbye, God bless, and we'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye.